Hi everyone, Reethany Tritano, the internet's busiest music nerd here, and it's time for a review of the new Teyana Taylor album, Keep That Same Energy. Actress, singer, model, Teyana Taylor, releasing a new 8-track album as a part of this Kanye Good Music Summer series. I'm not really that familiar with Taylor's kind of spotty musical release schedule up until this point. I know she's had a few releases under her belt, some singles, some very notable high-level features with the likes of Meek Mill and Vince Staples and of course the Good Music camp. She just seems like a person with a lot of irons in the fire, and music just happens to be one of them. And I feel like that lack of a focus and priority on music is reflected at least a little bit in this new project over here, unfortunately. Every once in a while, Taylor's vocals on this thing do hit a very raspy and a passionate high. That makes for a great moment. But her singing chops on this record aren't that show-stopping, nor is her voice all that distinct either. That and Keep the Same Energy feels like one of the more cobbled together good music records to come out this summer too. Some of the songs on this thing don't really have as much in the way of flow or structure. They're kind of like so-so motifs that stir up a kind of decent vibe, not really doing so much that they impress, but not doing so little that they offend either. I think the opening cut No Manners is a prime example of this, and while there are some really stunning horn samples and vocal samples and strings on this cut, all of it kind of outshines Taylor. She drowns in the grand musical entrance that the album makes. Rather than hitting us with a voice that is as powerful as the instrumental presentation here, she just kind of goes for average. However, I will say there are some highlights on this record. Gonna Love Me is a wonderful song of love and devotion, fit very snugly against the sweet electric guitar licks, a bouncy beat, and this chillingly beautiful Delphonics vocal sample. How you gonna love me? It's got this awesome classic soul, modern R&B seamless mix going on. It comes together really well. I mean, not only is this track one of the better ones in the track listing here, but also it serves as a reminder that there just aren't enough songs and albums in this genre that make use of samples so creatively. I would actually say this track is one of the few moments where her lyricism actually shines too. Singing Sometimes I Don't Think We Say Enough, Why Is It So Hard to Keep in Touch When We're Laying Right Next to Each Other, Baby. Taylor singing in this song not about a new or exciting or super sexy relationship, but more about the grim reality of having a hard time keeping up intimacy and interest in a long-term relationship, something that I don't think is explored enough in songs like these. Another highlight for me on the record was Rose in Harlem, another song whose chilling beauty can be greatly attributed to the production, especially that vocal sample, "A Rose in Harlem." It's kind of haunting. But it is also one of the few songs here where the hook is handled pretty much by Taylor, not by a sample kind of popping in and doing it for her, and she absolutely kills it. They be the ones. She kind of puts on some Rihanna-style swag for the verses on this track, which are part sung, part rapped. A lot of bars I like on this track about struggling and aspiration and trust and betrayal. And then we have Issues / Hold On. I love the flow of her voice on this track, this mix of classic old school soul, bass, and guitars with like these super trippy, psychedelic, delayed laser synths. And of course the issues that are being sung about here are personal and emotional issues, daddy issues, relationship trust issues, going through your significant other's phone, being jealous of other women. I also love the Hold On, Don't Let Me Go refrain toward the back end of the track, but it is one of the few moments on here where I feel like the full potential of the song is being cut off by its brevity. I wish it had a bigger climax. You know, I appreciate what Kanye has been trying to do with this short album series, but there are a lot of artistic risks involved with putting out records like these, especially in a repeated fashion. And unfortunately, I kind of feel like K.T.S.E, it's kind of getting the short end of the stick. It's exemplifying some of the ways in which a record like this can go wrong, or maybe not be awful, but kind of miss the mark because the results are a little meager. There are some moments on this record that I think kind of take a nosedive or are just super underwhelming, one of them being Three-Way, which I didn't really anticipate. It shouldn't be that hard to sell the audience on sex or like one of the most popular sexual fantasies out there. But for a song about threesomes, this track is kind of boring, not really all that descriptive. The lyrics are basic as fuck. Taylor vocally seems like she's just trying to do her best Weeknd impression most of the time. The only thing that prevents this song from being a total throwaway is Ty Dolla $ign's killer feature. Again, in the song Hurry, we have Teyana trying to shove sensuality down the audience's throats with like these awkward faux orgasms orgasms in the middle of the cut. Again, shooting for sexy but falling terribly short. I do like the instrumental, but Kanye's verse on the track doesn't really do much to save it either. The song Never Would Have Made It, I think, is the only track in here which is billed as featuring production solely from Kanye, as there are quite a few co-producers on this thing. And it's okay. It's a sort of nostalgic 90s throwback R&B ballad. It sounds kind of average in every way imaginable. I do appreciate the personal and emotional sentiment of the song, but it's not very standout. And WTP is one of the weirdest closers that I've heard this year. I mean, there are some things about it that I do like. I love the driving dance beat. I like the Mickey Blanco feature. Overall, the track seems kind of like a fusion of super early 90s hip hop and house. I could totally vogue to this thing for hours, but overall the track is kind of obnoxious. And Taylor's vocals are one of the least interesting things in the mix. Once again, she's being drowned out by more vibrant and more exciting sounds surrounding her. It kind of leaves me with mixed feelings as an ending, and the track generally just kind of seems like a giant ego stroke. Like, watch out for me, I'm going up from here, this is just things getting started, which it's not really. You've been at this for a while, and if this is you putting your best foot forward, like, ugh, it could have been better. Overall, this thing is a decent listen. It's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but there are quite a few underwhelming parts that keep it from reaching its full potential. Plus, I also think quite a bit of the magic on this thing does revolve around this album's collaborators and producers. Because if Taylor is going to become an exciting focal point of her future releases, she needs to gain a more distinct voice as a songwriter, lyricist, and singer. I'm feeling a light to decent 6 on this thing. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. And yeah, if you're feeling full of thoughts, leave a comment, and over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Anthony Fantano, K.T.S.E, forever.